Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome to What's on Tap podcast. This is Stefan.
This is Martin.
And we are once again in Lund.
We are.
Beautiful, summer, sunny Lund. And we are trying out a new bar.
Which is also a brew pub.
It is. You stumbled across this one. You said, hey, isn't there a brew pub on the
square,
on the Stortorget, on the large square in Lund? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe.
The funny thing is, the large square is actually the smallest of the squares.
It is. Yeah, it's funny because the square just behind this is actually huge.
And that's not a large square.
No, it's not.
I think it's named like this for historical reasons.
More than likely.
But we are at Torgets Taperia, so the Taperia of the square.
Yes.
Which is also a brew pub. And we were waiting for service. They have multiple taps with duplicate offerings. So we counted it. They have 9 different offerings, all made by this little brew pub called Torgets Bryggeri, or the brewery of the square. And they had some summer lagers, some lime lager, pear cider, but we ended up going for... do we include all 3 in the show?
Sure, we can do all 3.
We bought 3.
Yeah, so we got a summer lager, an IPA, and a imperial stout.
Yes.
That comes in at
8.2.
So it's a light side of the imperial stout.
Yes.
But it's summer, so you don't want a 15% pastry stout in the middle of the summer. I mean, we do, but most normal people don't.
And in their... what works in their favor is they offer both 20 and 40 centiliter offerings, which is great because we want to buy 20 centiliter is a great size.
It really is, and they're cute little glasses. They almost look like little soap dishes or something. I absolutely love the 20s. I've never seen the 20 centiliter size like glasses like this. They're like little small pucks.
You know, in the glass industry, we call them verticals and horizontals, verties and hories, and the hories they really give a large surface area, so it really activates your olfactory senses. You should actually do some throat exercises to increase travel velocity down your throat.
You've really done the research. I'm impressed by the research into this.
Right. So do we actually start with the summer?
And we have to start with the summer lager. It's summer lager.
Ale. They had a spring lager and a summer ale.
Correct.
So it's the summer ale. We skipped the spring lager.
Yes, that's correct. It is a summer ale. What do you think?
It shows some signs of home brewing problems. It has a very... tastes almost like apples.
I got a little butteriness to the
yes, a little bit of butteriness.
Soapy kind of like this. I wonder if their kettles are clean well enough because
it's a good question.
There's some off flavors going on here. It's very light. It's easy to drink, but the aftertaste definitely shows a lot of off taste, off flavors.
Yeah, so this might be diacetyl.
Yeah, I would say it's a little diacetyl kind of flavors going on there. It's a shame because I think the base beer itself is actually quite nice. It's very light, not bready, super drinkable. But then that diacetyl flavor hits in, and you're just like, that aftertaste is a little too... There's something wrong here, kind of.
There is something wrong with this. So it's like a 2 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, same with me.
So now you're trying the Ode to Hops IPA.
Ode to Hops IPA. And here they're clearly going for a more traditional kind of West Coast, I would say, IPA style.
Yep.
It's a little malty. It's not particularly bitter. And honestly, if you were to give me this as a blind taste test, I would think maybe an English ale, and not an IPA.
But it lacks the erroneous flavors of the first beer. So this one is an actual beer that can stand on its own legs without flaws, but it's not really hitting the IPA color.
I would have a hard time calling this an IPA.
Yeah.
Like this is almost like an English old ale or like a brown ale kind of. I mean, if you look at the color, it's much darker than what you would associate with an IPA. That's why I think West Coast to begin with.
Yes.
But then it's missing any kind of hop flavors, hop aromas.
Right. So I'll give this like a 2.75.
It's almost like a mild beer, like a mild style.
But that's, in that sense, it's quite pleasurable. I could give it a 3 if I disregard, if I stop thinking about IPAs. This could be a 3.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to give it a 3. Yeah. I think overall it's a pretty good drinkable beer.
But as an IPA, it's way lower.
As an IPA, it's definitely like a 1 or 2 because it just lacks any characteristics of an IPA. But it's like a British mild or something kind of in that range. I think it's a drinkable beer.
Definitely.
I wouldn't mind having 40 ounces of this, and I'd be fine with that.
I would.
Not 40 ounces, 40 centiliters.
Yes.
40 ounces might be a little much.
And the last beer is
We're not doing the brown bag special on that one.
No. Is the Emperador 8.2% Imperial Stout. It did say Imperial Stout, but on Untappd it's marked as an American Stout instead.
Yeah, I would say that they do their own labels, and the person that does the artwork for their labels, I wouldn't say is going out of their way to be super creative with the look of the...
So this one has some roastiness, maybe some hints of coffee, and a mild acidity that like lies underneath. I think that comes not from infection. I think it comes from overly roasted malts.
I think so too. For me, it's almost like a little bit of a coconuttiness to it.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah. It's actually surprisingly the best of the 3.
It is the best of the 3.
It is much better. I thought this was going to be a real mess of a beer, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be flat and flavorless or overly roasted, kind of. Sometimes you get these that they just burn the shit out of the malts, and you can really taste that. But this is pretty tasty. I mean, it's...
Now I'm getting a lot of licorice in the aftertaste.
Yeah. It's a really nice Imperial or American stout. I would recommend this. This is really, really good. And at only 8%, I don't feel like it's going to get you wasted.
No. I'll give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'll give it 3.5 too.
So the main point of this place isn't the quality of the beers. It's the fact that it is a brew pub in central Lund with nice seating overlooking a lot of people walking by. You really get
it's a good people watching center of the action kind of place. There's a little skateboard ramp where kids are kind of skateboarding on, and there's some nice outdoor seating. It's a really good outdoor spot. They've got lots of umbrellas to give you good coverage from the sun. And I'm sure during the winter the inside's probably pretty nice, so you can sit and have some nice brew pubs inside there.
So you paid for these. Were they expensive?
These 3, I believe, are like $170, $175.
That's pretty much for 3 small beers.
Is it? 20 centiliters?
Maybe
just double check that.
Yeah,
178.
So 55, 68. It's this stout that's expensive.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
No, fair enough.
Overly
Everything
expensive,
is expensive.
Yeah, I don't think that's overly expensive based on a brew pub kind of experience. Kind of about where I would expect it to be. Do you think you're getting 60 centiliters for 178? When you're paying like 98 or 90 centiliters or 90 kroner for basically a Staropramen nowadays, it's not so much more than what you would expect, I think.
No, fair enough. But and you're probably paying for location. If we look at Malmö and Malmö Tap Room, their own beers are way cheaper. Mm-hmm. And since this is a brew pub, fair enough, they don't have a lot of expensive guest beers. But you could imagine that since they're probably it's probably a huge markup.
Yeah, I would say probably each of these could have been about 10 crowns cheaper.
Yeah,
and it would have been more basically in line with what they have. Considering we paid, we paid 140 at Purgatorio for
that was including tips,
including chips. Yes.
No tips.
Tips.
It cost 130.
Oh, 130.
And I tipped 10 because she was so nice and service minded.
Okay.
And then she offered us free fried potatoes, which I didn't know when I did the tip, or I would have tipped 10 more.
Of course.
But I'm still giving this place a thumbs up.
Yeah, well, definitely. And the food, I mean, looking at other people's plates and what they've ordered, it looks pretty good. It looks like they have a decent menu, and the food looks really nice. So this was definitely a good place to come and kill an afternoon if you're looking to sit outside and people watch on a nice day.
Yeah, anyone doing a pub crawl in Lund would be a fool not to include this place.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's in the middle of everything.
Mm-hmm. And it's so close to, like you can literally see another bar right across from here, like 20 meters away or whatever. It's like John Scott's right there. Purgatorio is just right down the street, like a block away. You can almost see it from here.
Almost.
Inferno is other side of the park, which is right next to this.
And then Bishop's is just
Ahriman is just right next to that. So I mean, it's
Ahriman is closer.
Yeah, Ahriman is close. It's in between. It's in between here and Inferno.
It's really close.
So yeah, overall, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, that was one thumb up.
Well, yeah, 1 thumb up, and the beers are like a halfway thumb up. It's like a sideways thumb.
Yes.
Okay, so anything else?
Did you see what they actually offered for food? I didn't.
I did not.
I missed it.
We should have done that, looked at the menu before we sat down, but I imagine, well, I saw somebody eating artichoke leaves.
Just artichoke leaves?
Yeah. So it's like they have like a, what do you call it? A charcuterie kind of board.
Nice.
But yeah, I imagine they're probably doing traditional bar food kind of for Sweden, which is charcuterie and fries and maybe some burgers and stuff.
I can't find it. It doesn't.
It's impossible to find.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
The internet is too big.
Yes. And this place is so small. So, you can find us on what'sontappodcast.com, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you find podcasts, you can find What's on Tap. So until next time,
Keep drinking with them.